couldn't you love more than a head coach and a quarterback being all in on one another? An important note that the Raiders, they do begin their offseason workouts today. There's a lot of conversation around this organization that they need a rebuild. They need some new, fresh energy. Geno Smith does not necessarily feel like a rebuild paired with Pete Carroll, but I do like this. Are you all in on this decision and the way in which Las Vegas is moving forward with Geno?
See, I feel like this is a loaded question because I'm born and raised in Seattle. So I'm Seattle bred and I have a huge passion for the city. Listen, he got traded from Seattle, obviously, to the Raiders, and he has a lot of history with Pete Carroll. Obviously, Pete Carroll does not want to hit the ground without being able to have a little bit of momentum. So if you're going to go to a new franchise, if you don't have a position where you can go out there and get one of the top two quarterbacks that everybody feels relatively confident about, then you need to get a guy that you know can take care of business and you know through and through. They need to have an understanding. That is why he went out there and got Geno Smith. That is why they went ahead and opened up the bank account and they handed him a big boy check because they needed to have a smooth transition to the new lineage there with Pete Carroll. They brought in Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator. They're going to get creative. They have Jacoby Myers on the outside. They brought in Raheem Mostert, but they still need more weapons. But the one position that you cannot have question marks about while you're trying to build your roster is the QB, and that's exactly why Geno Smith is there.
The way I'm looking at this right now is you look at it from the top down. You look at Tom Brady going out and getting John Spytek, the GM. I had a chance to talk to him at owners' meetings, and he wants to build this team through the trenches. He wants to have veteran leadership on this team. There's no better veteran leadership than Pete Carroll. He's done it all. He's won at every single level. And what you do by signing Geno to this contract is you don't force your hand at 6. You don't have to go draft a quarterback at that 6 spot. And you look across this roster. You have Brock Bowers, who you drafted last year. You have talent on this roster. You go get Raheem Mostert, a veteran running back. So am I all in on the Raiders? I'm all in on they're starting the process to build this franchise the right way. And that starts at ownership, general manager, and now Pete Carroll and Geno Smith.
Well, I like to say that this morning. It's just something I have not said about the Raiders for a while. The vibes are really good. There's fresh air in the building. It feels good. You have trusted brands. You have people that we know, people we've been around the block with, people who have had success. The coach, the quarterback, the new owner, it all just feels good. And it feels like a commitment to adulthood. I don't think the Raiders will win the Super Bowl this year. I think they will put a really good product on the field. This is a team that has one winning record in the last 8 years. It's been bad. This is a team that was 4-13 last year. This is an organization that was swept by the West. They were 0-6 by the West last year. Okay, it's been rough. Now, 4-13, if a Raiders fan is offered right now 8-9 on the table this year, you double your win total, I think you take it. And the elephant in the room here with the Raiders, it's cool to see Pete and Geno and those guys I like and Brady. The elephant in the room is the AFC West.
Right.
Pete's done a lot of great things in this league. These 4 coaches are insane. I mean, it is one of the most interesting, one of the most successful collections of coaches in one division in history. And it's guys who are all like, pick one of these guys right here. Pick one of these guys who's going to fall on his face this year. You can't.
Yeah.
They've all won Super Bowls except for Jim on the far right. He's been to one. So it's very good. And I'll say this about Pete. For all the great things Pete has done, one of the things in his esteemed long track record, he is not the quick starter. He just hasn't really done it. Jim Harbaugh gets there immediately, he starts. Whether it's going way back with Pete, with the Jets, no. With USC, no. Even with the Seattle Seahawks, they were 7-9 his first year. The only time he's shown up someplace and immediately were winning out the gate, that was with the Patriots, but they were taking over for Parcells' Super Bowl team. This is a different story there. So I don't think Pete Carroll is going to be there for the next 7 years, and he's going to line up AFC West titles. We're getting the train back on the tracks. We have solid pros in Geno and Pete, and we need some more weapons. My God, do we need some more weapons, especially in that division. But it feels fresh. It feels clean. It feels responsible. It feels adult. There's no I don't know if Al Davis would love this because it's not crazy and motley and hair on fire and let's burn the roof down. It's just it's, dare I say, sensible and prudent. And I think right now for a team that hasn't won much this decade, I think it's smart.
Okay, well, Kyle, on that same note, right, if you're coming from a 4-13 season, what does success look like for them in 2025? Is it an above 500 record? Okay, we know how tough the AFC West is. We're not saying they're going to go win a division title, but what is success to them now?
I just can't believe we're talking. I'm ashamed of myself. We're talking about a prudent Raiders. Like, what are we doing here? That's like goes against the whole brand. A classy, understated Raiders. Success looks like, frankly, like I'm just going to put cards on the table. You put a product out there that's not embarrassing. That's not sad. It has been. 4-13 is an embarrassing, sad season. So I will say again. If you 8-9 on the table, you're not making the playoffs, you're not doing anything, but in that division, you double your win total, and then we get some things going. We've got this incredible star in the tight end. I just think, like, let's make progress. Let's make a leap this year. Even if it's 7 wins up from 4, you're sitting there and be like, okay, Raiders, we can trust you. We can go back to you. We can toss you the keys, and you can drive a little bit. It's been really rough. So I don't like to come on here, and you guys are just getting to know me. I don't like to say every team's going to be the best team ever. You can turn on any show and any swing, but they're going to be amazing this year. I'm all in. You can't be all in on 32 teams. I'm feeling the Raiders right now, and I think if they were to win in 7 to 8 games next year, I think you sign up for that right now. What do you think, Pew?
That's like winning the Super Bowl if you're the Raiders, right? To get 7 or 8 wins would be a immense achievement. I'm just looking, when I turn on the tape and I'm buzzing the Raiders film, I'm seeing passion. I'm seeing guys playing for one another. I'm starting to see the camaraderie on the offensive line. Our double team blocks look a certain way. I see the defensive line. They're getting after it. You got Max Crosby getting in people's faces and being the condor, making those plays. Getting Christian Wilkins, who you paid last year, get him rolling on the defensive line. I am not looking for the Raiders to make a splash in this division. I'm looking for them to set a foundation for the future. And if you're trying to build an organization, just like Tom Brady came in New England and what he was able to establish in Tampa, that is what he's starting to do right now. Let's get those cinder blocks down and start building for the Raiders team that is going to compete in the AFC West. You have to look. You have Patrick Mahomes in your division. You have to have a long horizon when you're looking to build in the AFC West, and that's what the Raiders are starting to do right now. And there's going to be a piece that's coming later on the show. I'm going to be picking a piece to add to this team. Yeah, come on now. I got the Raiders today on the show. I have some inside scoopage here. Oh. I can't give away too much just yet. I don't want to let you guys in on this secret just yet. So we'll stay tuned for that.
Hugh's been texting with Brady before the show, so he knows.
Let me do
you
my.
Get out of here, Isaiah. Get in here. We're all kind of saying the same thing, Isaiah.
No, for sure.
It's like if they made some improvement, that would be nice. Are you going to go bigger, or where are you landing?
You know what? I come from the stance of I believe that every team needs to have an identity.
Yep.
And I don't believe that the Raiders have an identity right now. Obviously, Kyle, you alluded to it a little bit in terms of how they were always a wild card. They were probably going to grab the fastest player in the draft every single year. I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for them to be 500. I'm looking for them to make some noise and be a disruptor within their division. Because if you have any kind of hopes for making the playoffs, you have to be competitive in your division. We know this is probably one of the most competitive divisions in the game of football. We just talked about the coaches that they have in this division. That's absolutely insane. They're all vets. They're all really great. They've all been Super Bowls, won Super Bowls. So if you can get in there and disrupt things and make those games competitive while building up the foundation, as you guys mentioned, of your team. Last year was a great step in terms of Brock Bowers, your number 1 overall that you brought in. You built him up. Now he's made a splash on the scene. Now who else can you bring in? You brought in Geno Smith to kind of steady the seas so that it's not as rocky when you guys get going. But who can you bring in to have an impact? And can you create a culture within that organization after bringing in a Pete Carroll, after bringing in a Chip Kelly, after bringing in a Tom Brady? Can these guys get an identity so that you know who you're going to see on film every single Sunday, Thursday, Saturday,
Monday, international games?
All right, welcome back to Good Morning Football. Very excited about this because the draft is around the corner, and every year around this time of the year, we get to know all these draft prospects. This is an incredible resume bullet. I don't even like calling it that. He is the all-time receiving leader. Where? At the University of Miami. What? And he was Cam Ward's go-to target. Let's welcome our new friend, Xavier Restrepo. What's up, man? Good morning, football.
Good morning, guys. Thank you, guys, for having me. Thank you.
It's great to see you. It's great to see the you. It's great to talk to you. And listen, you walk into a room and you say, yeah, I'm the all-time leading receiver at Miami. It is a mind-blowing achievement given where you stack amongst legends, guys that we've watched, Michael Irvin, Santana Moss, Andre Johnson, Reggie Wayne, like all-time NFL legends looking up at you. And by the way, it's not even really close. You're saying a good 300 yards on Santana, and we love him. So when you look at this, Xavier, and you look at these names and your numbers and your pure raw production, how does it make you feel?
No, that's a great question. I mean, it makes me feel good, all the hard work that I've done my entire life. It's finally, showing and paying off. So, I mean, again, I couldn't have done it without an amazing team. We obviously have the best player in the nation as our quarterback, so that helps a little bit too. But I mean, again, great group of guys. And I feel like the most important thing is those guys that I did pass on the record books. They always come back and give me some words, So it's not the first time I'm hearing, what I need to hear. So I mean, again, there's just a lot of help around the school, and I'm just blessed to be at the top of that list.
Xavier, you mentioned that those guys, they come back and they say some words. Any words of advice that one of those legends has said to you that has stuck as you get prepared for this draft process?
No doubt, words, and then you already know Michael Irvin with his kisses. But but I mean, all of them say the same exact thing. That just keep working, keep your head down, and you'll prevail either way. Whatever's meant for you is meant for you. The process is going to be the process, and just keep on pushing and never let up.
It's great.
Xavier, outside of the you've impressed guys like Steve Smith Sr., but there's always going to be critics. When I was coming out, I had short arms. They flagged me at the Senior Bowl. Yep. How do you deal with critics? It didn't stop me. I played 11 years in the league. How have you handled the critics?
Well, I mean, I've been battling through that my whole entire life, so it's kind of like in my DNA already, So the good thing is that I don't try to prove people wrong, prove people wrong. I try to prove myself right. I am also a man of faith, so I leave everything up to the man above and just control what I can control,
I love it, Xavier. Listen, man, you and Cam Ward absolutely killed it in Miami. Obviously, in order to have those kind of numbers and be at the top of the rankings there in Miami, you guys had some crazy chemistry. However, we've heard all the great things about Cam Ward. We've seen all the film. We know what you guys have done. But tell us something that we haven't heard and that we don't know about Cam Ward. Give us a little insight.
That he's the worst fisherman that I know. No, but I'm joking.
Why?
He always claims that he's a good fisherman, but I mean, I've seen him catch one fish probably. So he has a lot of work to do.
Oh, my God.
The shade to Cam already. But Cam, he's a competitor, all right? Let's take a look at him throwing a little bit of shade at Shedeur Sanders. I'm getting a little messy here.
I hope you're not getting no water. We just had the first drill. Oh, that's how you feel? We get water. We ain't even done with the first drill.
Let's go.
That's how it is in Colorado, though.
Inside the numbers, top
That's what it's like for a 9-win man.
He may not be a good fisherman, but he is a good trash talker. What do you think of his skills, not only on the football field, but, talking a little smack? It says you got to have some fun.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I think the most impressive thing and the funniest thing to me is that's not how he is just on camera. That's how he is every single day of his life, Whether somebody walks into film 2 minutes late, his favorite thing is, do you want your name in the paper? That's his favorite little quote or phrase during the season. So, I mean, again, trash talking comes with him, but, I mean, he's a very confident human being. And, I mean, if I put in as much work, which I do, but if I was somebody else and I would put as much work and as much time into my craft as possible, like he does, I mean, you could be as confident as you want because you could back it up.
Hey, that's right.
Speaking of backing it up, Xavier, you just threw some shade at your QB about his lack of fishing skills. We saw a picture of you. You had your shirt off, you know what I'm saying? Your white man can't jump, outfit on. What was your best catch that you had fishing? Because it looks like you're doing some deep sea fishing. So I need to know what type of fish, how big was it, and how long did it take you to reel it in?
I would probably say I caught an amberjack probably like 2 months ago. I don't know how much it weighed, but it was bigger than me probably. But I mean, yeah, we didn't really go deep sea fishing just because the waters were rough. It was like a lot of wind or whatever. But I mean, yeah, I caught definitely bigger fish than Cam. That's all I can say.
That's all that matters. All that matters.
Doubt. Scoreboard. If anybody hadn't gotten the message yet, you are a Florida man. And we get that loud and clear with the shirt and the fishing and the tattoos. But the tattoo that really maybe speaks the loudest, you have one on your calf that represents your home state. That is real detail, dude. That's a great looking tat. Tell us all about it. What is this about? Tell us the story.
Thank you, no doubt. I mean, yeah, I actually just got that last Friday. I'm doing like a whole other piece too on my leg. But I mean, again, I feel like Florida, if it wasn't for Florida, I know that sounds crazy, but I feel like I wouldn't be where I am today. Through my whole entire journey, I finally, came down here about the age of like 1.5, 1. And throughout my whole entire athletic career, it's always been like getting thrown in the deep end. I feel like, nobody could really argue this, but the best football is played in South Florida. Again, you're getting thrown in the water each and every single week versus, the top prospects in the whole entire country. So I feel like that's just a part of my DNA. I wasn't born in Florida, but I was raised in Florida, and I feel like, that's just who I am.
Xavier, I just moved to Florida, so I'm going to have to figure out what's in the water down there. I got to start fishing. I got to get a tattoo.
Okay.
I got a lot to do. But we have 16 days until the draft. I know what it's like to be drafted and to get that call. I wasn't invited to New York. What's that moment going to be like for you? Are you spending it with your family? What are the plans?
No doubt. I'm spending it with my family and, the people that are most closest to me. I feel like, I've had a super strong support group, whether that be my uncles or my grandmothers, cousins, aunts, but especially, my immediate family. I feel like, we're just going to do it at a house right here in Davie area. And, it's going to be emotional, definitely all the hardships and hard times I've had to go through and overcome. And, I honestly can't wait. Hopefully I'll be called on draft day.
Hell yes. We love it. We love you, man. You're a really good dude. You're a hell of a football player. And, of course, you're a good fisherman. You have 200 catches while you're at Miami. It's what you do. You catch. That is your name. That is your calling. And it's great to meet you. Xavier Restrepo coming to an NFL town near you. You know what? If I'm the Dolphins, I'm grabbing this guy. You're the man. Nice to meet you.
Great meeting you guys. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys. God bless.
Take care of yourself, bro. Good.
News sound, speaking of Travis Hunter, came in overnight where he's saying he thinks he actually could play every snap in an NFL game. Let's take a listen.
What are you at the next level?
Both, just like you saw me play.
You want to do both. How many snaps in a football game can you play?
All of them, if they give me the chance and the opportunity to do it.
And we were talking about the challenges that come with it. You got to be in offensive meetings. You got to be in defensive meetings. You got to be in wide receiver meetings. You got to be in defensive back meetings. How is there enough time to do all that? How did you prepare for that when you played college?
Well, we kind of got 24 hours in a day. We probably sleep for about 8 of those, so we probably got 16 more. So the 16
and all
that
of them
I'm
dedicated to those.
Yeah, all of them dedicated to football.
I like Travis Hunter more and more every single time I hear him speak. It was an honor to meet him at the Combine and see kind of his swag and his confidence that he can play on both sides of the ball. Isaiah, are you buying in on that? He is being touted as the generational talent of this year's draft class.
Stop trying to put limits on this man. He's an absolute beast. We haven't seen this. Stop trying to compare him to what you have known it to be. He is not human. He's not of this earth. So let him be. I can relate to him in some regard. When I first got into the league, I got drafted as a receiver. I played quarterback in college.
Yep.
When I left Dallas Cowboys after playing there a couple years, I went to the New England Patriots as a quarterback. I was in the quarterback meetings, I was in the receiver meetings, and I was in the special teams meetings. As he said, there's enough time in the day. It's the same playbook, right? So he's capable of doing it. He's physically capable. Allow the man to go out there and do it. Now, if he was in the trenches, it would be a totally different conversation for me because now he's up there, he's hitting every single play.
Right.
The physical demands on his body is going to be higher than him just being out there in space. It's not going to be as dramatic. It's all about cardiovascular and muscular endurance versus actual injury in terms of the physical contact.
That's a good call out.
I actually had a chance to sit down with Travis Hunter right after he won the Heisman, and this man had every trophy sitting behind him on his bed, calm, cool, collected. I tried to get it out of him. I said, Travis, which position would you rather play? And he said, there isn't one. I am a unicorn. I am a one of one, and I'm going to go out there and prove it to the world. Now, my question is, when you sit down to negotiate that second contract and you're saying, hey, I'm a lockdown defensive back and I'm your number one wide receiver, is this man going to get like a $70 million contract if you're playing full time?
Yeah, both.
I've never seen a contract negotiated that way. So I'm
what if
excited
they
for his
franchise
agents.
tag him? What position is it?
Well, the receivers are making more money right now, so I would say, hey, you have to do that. He will have a unique designation next to his name. It'll be Travis Hunter, Unicorn, Colorado, and that's the way we have to establish it. But he is a amazing human being. getting a chance to talk to him and see what he's about, his story, his humble beginnings, the fishing. I didn't know we were going to have a fishing exhibition here on the show today. But if you fish, you can play receiver in the NFL. I probably should have done that earlier on. I wouldn't have to block Aaron Donald all the time.
Well, I think it's interesting. You're talking about like a contract extension, which is fun to think about. I think about way before that. So when he shows up to rookie camp and we have our first meetings, does he go to the wide receiver room or the cornerback room? I'm actually asking because all these coaches up at the top, they hem and haw about Travis this and Travis that, what they're going to do with him. But someone is going to draft him in a couple weeks, and someone ostensibly is going to have a very specific plan about what they want to do with him. They're not going to figure it out. They're going to say he's a full-time cornerback and he's going to contribute at wide receiver. Or maybe he's just a full-time cornerback. We're not going to play him. I think what's interesting is if, let's say, he goes to Cleveland and plays corner, is it awkward that he, like, the best wide receiver on their team is not playing wide receiver? Is he better than Jerry Jeudy? I don't know. But what if the offense isn't working and you're having a guy over there play corner and it's like, we drafted this guy, get him on wide receiver, but he's playing really well in corner. I'll go again. Let's go. He goes to New England. He plays corner for Mike Vrabel. Is he better than 31-year-old Stephon Diggs? Maybe, probably. I don't know. But it's weird if he's not out there and you have this guy sitting there just playing one position and maybe you're not winning and maybe Drake May is not succeeding. You have to get him out there. It becomes awkward. And the opposite is true, too. If he's lighting it up at wide receiver and your defense can't stop anybody from throwing the ball, you're like, well, damn, we got Hunter there. Put him at corner. It's so good. It's not just that he cameos. He's the best defensive back and the best wide receiver in the draft. And you have to find a way to get them both. I'll say it for the last time. I think the best fit for him to do both is New England because of their coaching staff and how much they need weapons. I hope he goes number 4 just because I want to see him do it.
You know what, I'm just going to add a little bit on here just because I know we're talking about how is he going to be divided, meeting times, meeting space.
Yeah.
He's a smart kid, right? It's not just the glasses. In high school, he had a 1,600 SAT score. In high school, he had a 4.0 GPA. What? In college, he has a 3.9 GPA, and he's an anthropology major. I think he can handle the psychological and the mental capacity aspect of this, as well as we know he can handle the physical. So let the man be. Let him do what he does. As he said, don't put an ATH next to him. Put the unicorn, put the U next to him, because that's exactly what he is.
Now we're pulling up GPAs.
Oh, yeah.
Kyle, the Princeton of it all. I mean, this kid could have rocked it with you in the Ivy Leagues, too.
He would have done very well there, believe me. He would have made a lot of plays in the 90s Ivy League when I was there, believe me. He made the right choice, believe me.
If he wasn't a generational talent now, you mean 90s Princeton Ivy League football, he would have blown him away?
Yeah, he would have picked off Fitzpatrick several times probably at Harvard when they played him. So I think he ended up in the right place. I just hope he goes on the East Coast in the NFL and goes to Massachusetts. I want him to be a Patriot. I'm ready for it.
I told you would help fall in love with that kid once you hear him speak. Justin, you got to give Will some fellow O-line love, but I do have to say he is a smooth talker. He's a cool dude, and I'm very excited for the draft day outfit and the suit. But Justin, when you look on film, what do you see when watching Will Campbell play?
Well, first, a man after my own heart. He has the suit on. Now, I got to go two-tone. I'm just a little too plain for Will Campbell. Yeah. But, he's down there in the SEC playing at LSU. And that's the first thing that I love about Will Campbell when you put on his film. He's going against Will Anderson, who was the 3rd overall pick from the Houston Texans. He played against him as a true freshman. He's down there playing in the SEC, which has some of the best football players on the planet. He can pull. He can get up into the line of scrimmage. He's going to finish guys. He plays with a great base. There has been some negative connotation around him and his arm length and his wingspan. Speaking from a guy that had those same negative connotations, I will not put him in a box. He doesn't have to move into guard. He is the most NFL-ready offensive lineman on the board. There's some guys that, hey, he might have more potential. You know what happens? Potential will get you fired. Will Campbell, you plug him in, you let him play. He's going to be a starter on your offensive line. I don't care if he's at left tackle. I don't care if he's at right tackle. I don't care if they eventually move him inside the guard. He is a guy that you can sleep well at night. He's the All-American. He's done everything you could ask. And just listen to him speak. You'll love it. And there's some other guys that have been in this draft that we also love to talk about as well. And we're going to get more into those. But I just had to support my man, Will Campbell. Good. Don't mess with the arm length. Don't mess with the critics out there. Same with Xavier Restrepo when we had him on earlier. Go play football, go set records, and that is what it is all about.
That's exactly what it's about. But Justin, you mentioned there's some other offensive tackles out there and O linemen that we love. Anybody else popping up for you guys? Isaiah, anything you like?
Listen, he's the master right there. Justin's the man. I'm not going to argue with that at all. I know the young man out of Missouri, Arman Membou. I liked him as well because of his positional flex. Obviously, he can play out there the right tackle position. There's been a lot of talk about him potentially moving into guard as well. We'll see where it goes. But one thing I like about guys at the offensive line position is how do they finish, right? Obviously, can they hold their ground? Can they not get bull rushed? Do they have good feet, good pad level? But I want to see the grit. I want to see guys that want to go out there and bury guys and put them in the ground. When I think about offensive linemen, that's exactly what I want. I want a baller out there who's physical and wants the smoke.
Yeah, when you're looking at the draft, you're looking at the teams, you look at New England at 4, you look at the Jets at 7, you mentioned Arman Membou. I mean, Isaiah, we might have to have you start breaking down offensive line play. He's a name that's been flying up draft boards. When you turn on his film, I had to pull out the trusty notebook when I'm sitting there watching my film on him. He's fighting guys in the middle of the game. They're playing Arkansas, 10 plays into the game. He's driving a guy off the screen. And when you're trying to set a foundation, you're trying to build a franchise, Arman Membou is a guy that you can put in there at right tackle. I think he makes a ton of sense at the Jets at 7. And what I love about him, they're talking about running back by committee. You have this right tackle. You put him in there. He sets a tone for the running back. And then there's another guy, Kelvin Banks at Texas. I think any of those 3 guys, you could see any one of them as the first offensive lineman off the board. We don't have a Joe Alt this year in this class. There isn't a guy like I'm going to be, I have to have Will Campbell. I have to have Kelvin Banks. But when you look at this draft class, the twitchier of the bunch is Kelvin Banks, and he's a guy that definitely fits that left tackle mold.
I just want to pick your brain on this because this is the season of the year to talk about linemen and lineman play, and these guys going in the first round. You already mentioned arm length maybe as a trait that we talk about that you don't put a lot of stock in. What is your number one favorite trait that you look for in an offensive lineman, especially a tackle maybe, that you want to draft early?
Yeah, when you're looking at offensive line play, I want to see you play offensive line like a defensive lineman. And that is something, when you turn on that film, this guy has a little bit extra finish. Mm-hmm. He's going to maybe put a guy over a pile. He's always picking his quarterback up, but he plays with an aggression that you can't coach, you can't instill. You can't take softness out of a player. You can have a player pull it back a little bit. Hey, let's make sure we're not getting any penalties late after the whistle. And a guy that I think about, Trent Williams in San Francisco. He is an offensive lineman that plays like a defensive line. Just know this, folks. Every offensive lineman didn't line up when they were a peewee football player asking to be the offensive guard or the left tackle. They all wanted to be the DN. Yep. They all wanted to be the quarterback.
That's too big.
And I look for that skill set to translate over because these are guys that have to play together. They have to work with one another and really getting them in the room and finding out what type of human being they are. Because the offensive linemen that love one another and play as 5, but play as 1, those are the guys I want to have on my teams. You have to be able to work well with others.
Yep. God bless you, Pew. That was awesome. God bless America. Timmy Checks, you are the number 1 overall pick. You are on the clock. You are drafting for the Tennessee Titans. We will follow the same draft order as the NFL draft. Then Isaiah will draft for the Browns. Justin will draft for the Giants. I will draft for the Patriots at 4, and then we will snake. So I will go Patriots at 4, immediately into Jacksonville at 5. There are no trades. I know you got your Wall Street fantasies over here, Pew, and you're trying to do the wolf and trade. There are no trades allowed for today. No trading back, no trading up, and no whammies whatsoever. So I don't think there's any further ado or anybody has any questions. Kimmy Checks, you are on the clock with pick number 1 overall to the Tennessee Titans.
Okay, I know there are a lot of mocks out there. I know it's very stressful. I am not going to mess this up. I'm going to select Cam Ward, quarterback from the U. We had his receiver, Xavier Restrepo, on there. He's a beast. Tennessee, lock up. The U, Cam Ward.
That's cute. That's cute. I mean, you went what everybody else is doing. I understand. I understand what you're saying.
It's fine.
All right, so Isaiah, now that you've gotten that out the way, I am going to go with the only person in this draft that has built up 2 programs under his lineage, and that is the quarterback out of Colorado, Mr. Shedeur Sanders.
Wow.
To the Browns.
He's the man to the Browns. He knows how to build up a team and an organization. He's the man.
Okay. So we got to cross
All right,
these names as they
Shedeur
go.
going very early at 2. It turns out there was no backstop concerns. He is going to Cleveland, quarterback. And Pugh, I've seen your big board. I've heard you prognosticate about the draft. I feel like you on the clock for the Giants, real team, are sprinting up with the pick. Who do you have, Pugh, with the number 3?
You are going to let me go between 2 generational talents. You got Abdul Carter on one side. You got Travis Hunter on the other. There's one thing I know. You draft Travis Hunter. Yeah. You draft the best player available. You put him at defensive back. You put him at receiver. It doesn't matter. Travis Hunter. Now I'm sweating because I just ran up to put that pick in.
All right, Travis Hunter is going to Jersey, and that is official. He goes.
Great fishing in Jersey.
That's one opinion. I've not heard that myself, although Tony Soprano does have a boat. It's called the Stugotz, and he gets out there, but he is going to the Giants. So there's the Giants beating the Patriots again. If the Patriots had eyes on Travis Hunter at 4, he is gone. So here we go. Mike Vrabel is back. Josh McDaniels is back. They're kind of getting the band back together. But what do they do here with the 4 overall pick? 2 quarterbacks and Travis Hunter are gone. You have a very, very well-respected player sitting there, and yet you have some other projects. It's the first round. Let's get the plane on the ground. With the 4th pick in the Good Morning Football draft, the New England Patriots select Abdul Carter, edge, Penn State. And Mike Vrabel is building a defense, and he has first overall talent at the number 4 pick. Guys, and we have done 1 round. I'm already punch-drunk and exhausted. I think I want to applaud Isaiah, who did not go chalk and said, I'm getting our damn quarterback. Isaiah, how do you feel about that pick?
I feel great about the pick because you think about what Cleveland has been through. They went all in on Deshaun Watson, right? You just heard the ownership talking about it was a big swing and a miss. You need to go with somebody who has built up where you're coming from. He's done it at Jackson State. He's done it at Colorado. He's the only one that has the bandwidth and the capacity to handle the situation that you're in. You got to go with Shedeur Sanders.
Love it.
All right. We are now going to round 2, where I will go again. I just picked for the Patriots, and now we go down to Duval County, where the Jacksonville Jaguars, with their new head coach, are on the clock. And the second round is where the boat starts to rock just a little bit. If we are going to make Trevor Lawrence work, if we are going to make him soar, we're going to surround him with the players to do that. And with the 5th pick in the Good Morning Football 2025 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Tyler Warren, tight end, Penn State. Wow. He's coming in Lawrence's huddle. We have back-to-back Nittany Lions. Tyler Warren is off the board, and we go now to pick number 6, Justin Pugh to Las Vegas.
This is where I start to work the lines, folks. This is where I start to see what's going on out there. I was down at owners' meetings. I mentioned that previously. I interviewed John Spytek, and I said, John, I heard your son has a pick that he wants you to make.
Oh, yeah?
And John Spytek said, yeah, my son said if I don't draft Ashton Genty, 6, I'm not welcome in the home.
Is he doing it?
The Las Vegas Raiders. Ashton Genty, your Heisman runner-up, sets the foundation, sets the toughness. Number 6, Las Vegas
Genty to the Raiders, and then we go Jets. How do you follow that, Isaiah? Come on, give me something.
You know what? That's a good one. That's a really good one. But there's a gentleman who just took over the head coach position in New York, and I believe his name is Aaron Glenn. He just happened to be one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. So if I am Mr. Aaron Glenn, I have gaping holes at the offensive line. I need to handle. I need to protect Justin Fields. But I'm a D coordinator by nature, so I need somebody to handle my defensive front. So I am going to go with the Michigan man, defensive lineman on the interior, Mr. Mason Graham. Give me the big roller on the inside to move the ball right out there, the point of the contact. I got to have him.
Ooh, sniped. That's really good. Mason Graham off the board, a national champion. All right, I'm at number 8, Kyle. Carolina Panthers. They're on the clock.
Yes, Kimmy.
They've got some needs. We got an edge. You need a safety. You need a corner situation. Mason Graham would have been fantastic. You know who I want to pick, though?
What's that?
I want to go with Will Campbell.
Oh.
I want to go with Will Campbell.
LSU.
Who we just talked about. I love him. Okay. I love him. I think he's incredible. It's not the sexiest pick. Obviously, they need a wide receiver as well. I know Tedero McMillan would have been great, but I like Will Campbell. I love him. So that's what I got for number 8.
All right, I see what you did there.
Boom.
Sold you on him.
All right, so we have 2 rounds done. We have 1 offensive lineman, 2 quarterbacks. Hunter goes. We got a couple of defensive players. I just want to say in real time that the venerable Andrew Siciliano is watching and texts me that he loves Tyler Warren to Jacksonville. Yeah. Siciliano, I love that you love it. I love that you're watching. And he says no one wants to believe him on that one. So I'm getting A grades as usual in my draft from the guys who count. Now, Kimmy, you had the pleasure of going number 1 overall, but you have the burden now of making back-to-back picks. You just picked for the Panthers, and you will start round 3 with the New Orleans Saints. Who dat? And who are they picking?
Who are they going to pick? Well, they need to pick a corner with the loss of Marshawn Lattimore during free agency. So I'm going to go with Will Johnson. Let's get another Michigan guy off the board. That's what I'm going to do. The pressure is now off for the back-to-back snake. I know, Kyle, you had to do that as well. It's stressful, but I like Will Johnson going over to New Orleans with the Saints.
Okay, you're going to make things.
All right, Isaiah.
It's nice, though.
Bear down. Ooh. Bear down, Isaiah. Come on now.
So when it starts getting a little bit crazy, you know, you think about Ben Johnson and what he was to Detroit, and you think about the 2-headed monster, the Sonic and Knuckles that they had down there, and how they want to control the ground game. Well, I don't believe that it really matters who you pair with DeAndre Swift as long as they're going to be talented. There's a lot of depth at running back in this year's draft, but one there's not a lot of depth at is the offensive line. So you took the guy, Will Campbell. I am going to go with Arman Membou. We just talked about offensive tackle out of there, out of Missouri. He is a big brawler. He secures your line. You got 4 new offensive linemen. He's your 5th guy. Now you can put whoever you want in the backfield, and you're going to have success because you control the line of scrimmage.
Love it.
All right, so Ben Johnson working more on the trenches there for Chicago Bears. And Justin Pugh, a lot has changed since your last pick.
I've been sitting around for a while.
I know. I feel like the body language I'm reading for you is some of your guys got taken. I feel like you might have had the last couple of picks slotted, but prove me wrong. You are on the clock with the Niners. It's actually ticking down.
So, wow, I didn't even get a chance. You stole 5 seconds from me there, Kyle. Pressure is on. Now, look, Shanahan always loves his trenches. He loves to get in there and get after those guys. I'm looking at the defensive line. Is there a D tackle that jumps off the board? I don't love any of the defensive tackles. I'm going Texas. I'm going Kelvin Banks. I sold you on him earlier. He's a twitchy guy. He's going to be the heir apparent to Trent Williams. He's going to slot in there. Might be playing right tackle from day one, but he will be a left tackle in this league for years to come.
You feel good about it. All right.
Great about
I feel like I get the vibe that you like that pick. So guess what happens now, folks? San Francisco is off the clock, and I go to the Dallas Cowboys at number 12 in a time when I said this, Isaiah, myself. The buzz is pretty low. Everyone's looking at all these flashy objects around the division. And I'm looking at what used to we used to call something in Dallas. We used to call it a running game. You would hand it to the stud and move the chains, and they will go back to that as that stud is Omarion Hampton, running back, University of North Carolina. We get a running back, we get a toy. We're going to move the clock back a little bit and move the damn chains. That's what I'm talking about. The blue, the Carolina blue to the blue star. This is the guy who is the consensus number 2 back. Intense, hard runner. It's kind of some of the same things Ezekiel Elliott did when he showed up as a rookie in 2016. And my friends, we are through somehow, some way, 3 rounds. We got a corners, 2 linemen back to back.
Love it.
And a running back. What a beautiful time to be alive.
Good.
I am going now. I got another pick, and gosh, you do not get to take a breath when you have back-to-back picks. This sucks. And you know what the worst part about it is? I thought I was going to make a splash here, Isaiah, and I thought I was going to take Shedeur Sanders.
Nope.
He went at number 2.
That's right.
I'm sitting here at 13. I was going to bring the house down and say they're going to do Shedeur Sanders. So I'm going to take my sweet time with 18 seconds, because let's just say some of the people, or in fact, all of the people that I had planned got taken.
You warned us.
I warned you. I was lecturing these guys on the production call. I'm like, be ready. The people aren't going to be there. Like, I know what the hell I'm talking about. All right. I'm going to go. All right. Enough with the chimes in my ear. I get it. All right. I'm going to go with the guy I think is the best player available, and this might be bringing sand to the beach, no pun intended, for Miami. I'm going to go with Matthew Golden, wide receiver from Texas. I'm bringing speed. I'm bringing talent. Maybe we usher out Tyreek after this year. It certainly didn't end well last year. I know they need help up front, but I think Mike McDaniel can never have enough toys, and this is one of these quality picks and a great player sitting down there at 13, and I just couldn't resist. Golden goes to Hard Rock. I'm way into it. I don't know if I am way into it. There's like 5 other guys I was going to draft, but this is the draft, Justin. What do you
Honestly, I was eyeing him at the 6th overall pick, so I like that pick. I don't want to give you I don't want to hype up your draft.
No text from Siciliano about that pick. Absolute radio silence.
So now we're on the clock with the Colts.
You're on the clock with the Indianapolis Colts. There's 3 picks left in our draft. Who you got?
You have Daniel Jones, just brought in a quarterback.
Yeah.
You have Anthony Richardson. Now we have to get him some more weapons. I'm looking at tight end. You took Tyler Warren.
Yeah.
I'm looking at tight end, Michigan. Colston Loveland.
Go on, Colston Loveland.
Won a national championship. He's rangy. He can get down the field, split the seams, let Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson find him down the field. The Colts add that piece, that red zone target that they've been missing. Go get after it, Indianapolis.
I like your body language. I like your confidence. You feel like you're kind of dropping the mic here. We'll see. Isaiah, you have to pick, and then we will bring everybody home with Kimmy. Isaiah, you're on the clock with the Atlanta Falcons. This is your last pick of our draft.
Okay, show me that list one more time. Show me the list one more time if we have it in the graphics department. Just want to make sure. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I see what you guys did there. All right, listen up. We're going to go to, I'm rocking ATL, right?
ATL. The swag surf like
right.
Justin.
The swag surf like JP was doing. Anyway, they haven't had a pass rusher in a very long time. Okay. Very long time. And they need to get some pressure on the quarterback. They need to turn the ball over to get the ball in the hands of Mr. My guy, Nix, all right? He has to take care of business there. So I'm going to go with Mikael Williams. Keep him in, AT-alien. He's a Georgia boy. Keep him right there so he can take care of business.
Smart.
He need to get some pressure on the QB so that you get your offense the ball. You've invested a lot on your offense in past years. Now get it in the hands of your guys. You got to do that by getting some pressure on the QB. Go DN.
Oh, I like it.
You like that?
That's really good. Okay, but I'm 16. I've had some time now. I got to take some time after the snake of it all because Kyle, you're so right. It is so stressful. But for number 16 here, I got the Arizona Cardinals. They have a lot of different needs. I want to go a little less chalk here. I think they're going to draft, or they should draft, a wide receiver. I'm going to go with Tetairoa McMillan. I think he is fantastic. He, with Marvin Harrison Jr., is phenomenal. Okay. I think it opens up that offense. Let's have a little fun.
Yeah.
No, you like it?
I'm with it.
Okay.
I won the draft, but I like it. You know what I'm saying?
No, Kyle actually grades us.
No, Kyle's a great.
Yeah.
You know what? Erroneous.
We the people will grade us. We will give it to democracy. Tetairoa McMillan, that makes the second year in a row the Cardinals take a wide receiver in the first round. Guys, I love how we did. I think we all executed. I like that on Isaiah's quote-unquote panic pick. If you're ever panicking, just look for the words Georgia and defensive line, and you'll probably be fine.
Yep.
Just look for that exact phrase, and you'll be good. But, Justin, you're a new guy here at the table. How do you feel?
I feel great. I think we're going to let the people decide. Yeah. And I think they're going to come back with some favorable results for myself. I'm surprised you didn't go Gray Zabel, the sleeper North Dakota State pick there. Kimmy at that 16 to the Cardinals. But Tet's great. They just signed Trey McBride. I think the Cardinals are a team to look out for.
Okay, what do you think, Kimmy?
I love all this. I will say I do not envy any of these teams. That was so stressful. Yeah. And I am not joking when Kyle was very serious and on the production call, he's like, you guys need to be prepared. It gets stressful. It goes by very quickly. I have like full agita. I'm going to text my therapist. Like, I just had the worst anxiety on TV. So
that was only 16 picks.
That was only 16 picks. Yeah. That was absolutely horrific, Kyle. It was very terrifying.
It's also nonsense. It's not real. Imagine if it was actually real and you're there and you have to make real picks that might get you fired. It's incredible, right?
That's the key to this whole thing. If you're a general manager in the NFL and your livelihood depends on it, that is stress.
Oh, my gosh.
All right. Justin, I want to go to you first. Does that then mean number 3, Abdul Carter's still on the board, and he's the pick for New York?
Well, if Isaiah goes Shador, I think Travis ending up at that pick. But if Abdul Carter's there, you don't pass on generational talent. Let me paint a picture for you. It's 2011. You have Tom Brady back there. You can't beat him. You line up Justin Tuck, Jason Pierre-Paul, O.C. Umenyiora, Dave Tollefson, and then you have the reinforcements are coming in. You have Matthias Kiwanuka. You have Chris Canny. You have Linval Joseph. You can never have enough defensive linemen. So in my head, I paint this picture. You have Dexter Lawrence, the most disruptive interior D lineman in the NFL. You have Brian Burns. You have Kayvon Thibodeau. You add in Abdul Carter. Turn on the film of the Dallas Cowboys. They stand up Micah Parsons. That's exactly what the New York Giants would do. And when I say look for the fish, I'm not referring to Cam Ward and Xavier Restrepo out there fishing for, tarpon in Florida.
Yes.
They're looking for the offensive lineman that has a little fear in his eyes, that might be a little twitchy. That's the guy you're going to attack because that's the guy that's probably going to give up the sack. And Abdul Carter made a living doing it at Penn State. He can do it in the Big Apple with the New York Giants. I just imagine that, and I think you sleep well if you're Joe Schoen, knowing you have a fearsome front four on third down in the NFL. That's where you win games closing out, and that's what Abdul Carter brings to the table. Don't reinvent the wheel.
No.
Look back to 2011 and reinvent that in 2025.
Like Isaiah?
Well, speaking of 2011, in my security box, I have this thing called a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And it just happened to be from 2011 when I was playing with the New York Giants. And when you're on offense and you have opportunity to sit there and watch these waves of defensive linemen just come play after play, nobody gets tired. Everybody's playing 20 snaps and staying fresh and going to hunt the quarterback, whether it's Kiwi or whether it's Tuck or whether it's JPP. It didn't matter who it was. Everybody was eating. And when you can go hunt the quarterback and get to them and elicit fear whenever you want to, you take that opportunity. So if you are the Giants and you do have an opportunity to go get Abdul Carter, nobody's going to look at you sideways for passing up other guys. This dude is a generational talent. Even I don't really know what that means at this point because they just had Micah Parsons not too long ago. So this generation is absolutely flooded with number 11s coming out of Penn State. But Micah Parsons ran a 4.39.
Yeah.
Abdul Carter ran a 4.38.
Wow.
So when you think about these guys and their ability to not only get to the quarterback, these guys have a quick 10 yards, which is what they need to have. These guys have top end speed. Abdul Carter being clocked at 22 miles per hour. This is absolutely insane to be able to load that front defensive line up to be able to go hunt because this is the NFC East and you are going to have to deal with passing quarterbacks.
I like in your safe deposit box, you have a Super Bowl ring. I have a savings bond I got from my grandmother when I was 7. Like, I've just been waiting on that thing. That's all that's in there for my first communion. That's what I got. And listen, the thing that I'm banking on this is we look at the Giants. I think it's going to be Carter or Hunter. I do. I don't think they're taking a quarterback. And maybe you do. Maybe that's fine. The fact that they went and just stacked Russ and Jameis, I feel like that's your room. One of those guys, sure, and then you bring in a rookie quarterback. Why bother signing 2 of those guys, let alone 2 very unique personalities and very big in their own way personalities, and then bringing a rookie into that room? That's just my instinct. I think they have their room. I think it's those 2 guys and then DeVito, whatever. I think it's going to be Carter or Hunter. I think it's going to be whoever's there. I think Ward is going to go first. The Browns take their guy. And if by the way, if it's Carter and Hunter there, then the Giants will have their pick. But ever since they get both of those big name, high profile quarterbacks, I just don't know if you need both of those guys. I don't care what contracts they're on. Why bring both of them and then bring in a rookie? It seems like a lot. I think that their plan is set, and they're going to take the best available between Hunter and Carter right there at 3.
Justin, when you look at Abdul Carter on tape, what do you think as an O-lineman makes him so hard to block and go up against?
He puts the fear of God in you on third down. That is where players get paid on the offensive defensive line. Yeah, you stop the run on first down. Don't get me wrong. But if you can take the quarterback off the field on third down, you can take points off the board, you can get sacks, you can get pressure. That is something where you win games on Monday and Tuesdays. When the offensive line turns on the film and they see Abdul Carter running a 4.38, it's not just the 4.38, it's the bend around the edge. It's the ability to go and get the ball from the quarterback and disrupt him. That is something that Abdul Carter brings to the table that not many pass rushers do. And remember this is his first year on the ball playing defensive end. He was an off-the-ball linebacker, and they just moved him up there. He's only going to get better. Now, the one fear people have is his weight, and can he play every down? You might not need to. You might have Kayvon Thibodeau out there on first down. It's second down and long. You have Abdul Carter running out there. You have him on third down. So I don't think you ever can pass up on defensive linemen that can get after the quarterback. And if he's there, even though it's a strength, make it even stronger. You got to go against the Philadelphia Eagles. You got to go against Jaden Daniels. They took that model from the Giants back in 2011. The Eagles always had a great defensive line. The Commanders did it. The Cowboys did it. That's the NFC East football brand. Add another one in, Abdul Carter. Welcome to the Giants. I know you're an Eagles fan. We're going to get all that gear, and we're going to get rid of it. You're a New York Giant now.
Listen, the New York Giants might have the most difficult decision in this year's draft. And the reason why I bring that up is because if one of those quarterbacks, Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward, are available, Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen are in a situation, right? They're literally coaching and managing for their lives. And the situation that they're in is, do we get somebody who can make us win right now? Or do we get somebody who's great for the organization going forward? So you think about Brian Daboll. He came to the Giants because he was an offensive genius for the Buffalo Bills. He was the guy that made Josh Allen be successful as he was to that point. But he's never picked his own quarterback. So he has an opportunity potentially to pick his own quarterback to get him through this season and hopefully put them in a great situation, even though they signed 2 veterans. Or he's faced with the decision of picking one of 2 generational talents. Abdul, who runs a 4.38 and who is an absolute nemesis, as JP just explained, or Travis Hunter of the likes of something we've never seen before who can make an impact on both sides of the ball. So they might be tasked with picking a quarterback that lead them and allows for you to do what you've done best in your career as a head coach now, or 2 guys who are absolute specimens. I do not want to be one of the Giants' brass right now.
I think if you look at it and you look at Joe Shane, you watch Hard Knocks last year, you realize everybody is involved in these decisions. You look at John Mara. He came in there. They famously talked about Saquon Barkley. I think they are building a plan for the future. It's not just for 1 year. They're not just going to try to put a rookie quarterback out there. And I don't even think if they took Shedeur Sanders, he would be the starter for them this year. Let's continue to build for the future. A lot of teams may be looking at 2026 and beyond and what other quarterbacks are out there. You never know what can happen. Look at the Raiders, them going and trading for Geno Smith. The signs are pointing to we handle the quarterback position. Let's continue to build the best team and best foundation for this franchise going forward. All right, apparently the new Good Morning Football orientation is having to play 2 lies and a truth.
It's true.
And I'm the rookie here, so you have to guess which of these 3 statements is true about me. So I'm going to read them off.
All right.
Kyle, you're going first.
Fine.
I know the pressure was on with the draft order.
This is easy.
And then we're going Isaiah, and then we're going Kimmy. Let's start with the first one. We have 3 rounds of this, all right?
You got Pew. Come on now.
All right, first one's first. I have competed in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Okay.
I've dressed up as Super Mario in college for Halloween. I have scored a touchdown on a pick 6.
Are we in the professional level? You did that? I'm going to go, I try to think about what makes good TV, and you dressed up in Super Mario in a costume when we run the picture. That would be the payoff. So I'm going to say B is true. You dressed up as Super Mario.
The mustache.
I think
you're up next.
I think you're a little bit too tall to dress up as Super Mario. I don't believe that you even like hot dogs. I didn't see not one hot dog eaten in the segment that we did earlier with you with the fans. So I'm gonna rock with the pick 6. I'm gonna say take you back to high school. You probably were playing on the D line. You got a nice little pick 6. I want to see the celebration though.
Well.
Okay,
Kimmy, go ahead.
That's good. I want to go with the hot dog eating contest. Every single time I've been around NFL teams, they're like, "Yo, the O linemen, they eat, they get down." I think better TV than a Super Mario is a video of you doing a hot dog eating contest. So that is my hopeful pick.
Somebody's right.
That's what I'll say, Isaiah. I was 330 pounds at one point. I was playing offensive line. You saw, trying to think about life after. I am going to go with C, actually. I got everyone going. I actually scored a pick 6 in high school.
There we go.
Not in the NFL. Let's cue up the clip, and you can see the celebration. Come on now. There I am at defensive end. We're playing, I think it's Truman or Tenet High School.
Okay.
I swim move real quick, diagnose the screen. Now watch this, folks. No gloves like Travis Hunter, one-handed interception. Now I'm lumbering a little bit, but you see a little bit of the agility there.
67.
And I go LT into the end zone, ball up. Look at that one-handed. Now that's some grainy footage. That's VHS. It's converted to DVD.
Look at the ball.
What we don't show is I run off the field celebrating and forget to go on field goal. May have cost my team a penalty, but I will never forget that. I want you to put that DVD in my casket one day. I'm getting buried with it. 100%.
I bet Pew was making out that night. Good for you, buddy.
100%. So Isaiah, you were spot on there. Kimmy, I thought maybe I think the hot dog eating contest was close there.
Okay.
Let's move on to number 2.
Let's go.
I have appeared on both Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and Say Dress as a reality TV star. B, I have rode my Harley Davidson cross country from New York to L.A., and I have once met Steven Spielberg at a gas station. Kyle?
What? If C isn't true, what a weird one to make up. All right, it's Say Yes to the Dress. I used to love that show when my wife and I were engaged. Randy to the rescue, the man. I don't think you were rolling a Harley across country. That doesn't seem like your style. I feel like one time you're at the Sunoco and you're like, hey, did you direct Jurassic Park? And you're like, hey, weren't you drafted by the Giants? What's up, man? And if there is a selfie of you and Steven Spielberg, I'm going to walk off the set. I say C because I hope it's that.
Okay, Isaiah, you're up.
You know what? I am going to piggyback off my man who knows television better than anybody, Mr. Kyle Brandt right there. I'm going to go with Steven Spielberg at the gas station. Did you go 89? Did you go 93? I just need to know. We need to.
Yeah, what octane?
No, I'm going 87. I'm going that unleaded.
Yeah,
Timmy?
sure.
Unleaded. I don't want to be chalky, but I want to say it's C2 because I think, Isaiah, you have a good call out. I feel like this is exactly like Kyle watches and knows TV so well. He'd be like, oh, no, Pew, you were on Say Yes to the Dress when you were engaged to your wife.
Yeah.
So I feel like it has to be C because Kyle would probably know if A was true.
Facts.
I'm so excited. Timmy, great answer. Pew, give it to us.
All right, let's pull up no, we don't have a picture of Steven Spielberg and me at a gas station filling up unleaded. No, it's number A. I have been on Say Yes to the Dress and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So I'll give you the story of both. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was for charity. I was with Terry Crews. I got a question wrong about Point Break and Bodie.
What was the question?
It was an actress named their son Bodie after which Patrick Swayze character.
Oh.
And I was like, I've only seen Point Break. It can't be Point Break. And it was. But that was for Shriners Hospitals for Children, so we made a good donation there. And then Say Yes to the Dress. My sister was getting married, and Randy and I were in New York, and we picked out the dress for my sister for her wedding. So I have a little bit of reality TV experience as well, Kyle.
Oh, yeah, we don't have to talk about mine. Mine's horrible. But hold on. We need to tell us in our ear, producer Chris McLean, who came up with that about Steven Spielberg at a gas station? That is the dumbest, most brilliant.
Thank you.
Who was that? Evan on the night squad is like, I don't know, I got to go to bed. Steven Spielberg at a gas station, that sounds fine. And we went for it. We got hooked, Evan. Nice job.
Thank you, Evan. You saved this one there. So that's a point for me, I think. Actually, it's a point for Evan. Evan Duke.
Yes, great job, Evan.
All right, so now we move on to the last and final 2 lies and a truth. Here we go. I caught the biggest crayfish in Bucks County. I've been bitten by a squirrel on 2 separate occasions. Had to get the rabies shot as well. C, I attended at least 1 hot yoga class per week. That's how I'm staying felt and fitting in these suits. It's felt.
All right. I've been a mess this segment. I don't want it to be the hot yoga thing. We get it. You're an ex-offensive lineman. You've lost weight. Good for you. The crayfish in Bucks County, I feel like the crayfish is more further south than Bucks County, which is in Pennsylvania. I want it to be B so you can raise your hand or whatever it bit you and show some sort of scar. I'm going to say the squirrel got you twice, and I hope it was the same squirrel. What do you guys think?
Wow, Isaiah?
I haven't seen Sword in the Stone in a while. I know there's some squirrels in that one, but let's rock.
Yeah, there are.
Let's rock with the yoga. I mean, obviously, aside from the weight loss, I know how the offensive linemen like to stay limber. So I want to see a picture of you in hot yoga class with just the tank top and the short shorts. So I'm pretty sure you were in there. If you're front row or back row, though. Front row or back row, I need to know.
Back row. You don't want to get close to the mirror.
How do you know that? He wasn't in hot yoga. He didn't know what he's talking about.
But I also don't know if anyone really wants to see that picture. Kimmy?
Okay, well, now I feel like maybe it is C, since you did say you're a back row type of guy. I don't actually feel like it's yoga. I feel like maybe it's Pilates. I feel like A only got thrown in there because we've talked about fishing so much on the show. They had to get something in there. It's 100% B. Kyle, I'm with you 100%. This is so random to have made up.
That's Evan.
Unless Evan's like on a gummy just making up stuff too. It has to be B.
Evans.
Well, this is what I left little crumbs for you guys here. Like I try to distract a little bit. I try to throw the rabies shot in there with the squirrel. I try to throw the picture of the hot yoga. Now, yes, I've done hot yoga. I'm in the back of the class. I stay out of the way. My wife, she's in the front row. I'm like, let me not be in there. It is actually A.
Oh.
When I was 6 years old, we have a picture that we're actually going to pull up with this one as well, showing young Justin saving Wrightstown and Bucks County from the dangerous giant crayfish. I caught it. I saved the day. It was at one of those schools where like they take you on these field trips and they're like, hey, we're going to go fishing for crayfish. Now, this is before we knew that this segment was going to just be laden with fishing. It just so happened that this is the theme of the day.
Yeah.
Now, Xavier Restrepo, now you can invite me on the boat because I've caught crayfish. Now I just got to go get the tarpon and the amberjack and things of that nature.
Can I subscribe to the Good News newspaper is something we all need. They probably have a podcast now or something. Look at that publication and shout out to those people. That's a brilliant thing. And you look great holding your little bucket.
I was super excited. Look at that guy right there, future offensive lineman. Now, I appreciate you guys throwing in the hot yoga there. The bitten by a squirrel, I wish. I did get bit by a chihuahua recently, but I'm safe. I'm good.
Why do you keep getting bit, or fictional or otherwise? Why did a chihuahua bite you? What happened?
Yeah, we were walking down the street. I saw a friend of mine, went to say hello, and the chihuahua just right on the leg. So, chihuahua, not squirrels.
Okay, well, Justin, since this is such a fishing show, and that was indeed your truth, if you could build your dream fishing squad, okay, a current player, an NFL vet, and a head coach, who would you have?
Oh, my gosh. Well, I think we just saw how good Dion is at fishing. So I've got to choose Dion. And also, Jimmy Johnson is an avid fisherman. He's a legend. So I got to go with Jimmy Johnson. We're going deep sea fishing. And then what was my third? What was my third category to choose from?
A current player.
A current player. Ooh, a current player that's a great fisherman. I don't even know if I know. Who used to do the sack dance? That Jared Allen?
Well, yeah, he would do the
he did the lasso.
How about an ex-teammate? Who's an ex-teammate you'd want to go fishing with?
Ex-teammate that I would love to go fishing with.
Eli Manning on the yacht?
I'm going to go offensive line. Florida resident, Rodney Hudson, center, played at Florida State.
There we go.
You might yell at me. We might have a cigar in our mouth while we're out there fishing. So that's my trio right there.
Great job, Pew.
That's a dream trio. But this was good as well.